Oh, hi everyone. Look at this. I was considering showing up in a suit and a tie and a shirt and sweats, because that's how we've all seen each other for the past 3 years. But now we all get to wear a suit. Look at everyone in this room looking so good in real clothes, and we get to have a real conversation with real people sitting beside them. How about that? Come on. What a great night. So I've met many of you over the years. My name is Dave Kelly, and this is is it our third? It's the third biannual Top 7 Over 70 Award. There's a lot of numbers in there. All I know is it's our Top 7 Over 70 Award, one of the most amazing evenings we get to have in Calgary, and I would say that I get to be part of in the country. And that's where we get to recognize the great things that people do after they are 70. So let's first of all start with a round of applause for those people and all of us here tonight. So this is one of the fun sort of things we get to do tonight. One of the people who normally, when they get this job, they get to go everywhere at big events and have all kinds of pomp and circumstance. But our Lieutenant Governor became Lieutenant Governor during the pandemic, which means how are you supposed to have pomp and circumstance on Zoom? Very difficult to do. So this is her first time at this event and her first time with all of us. So I thought, and we all thought, let's make this as pompy and circumstancy as we can for her in this role that she has. So if you haven't been, let me explain how this works. And this is hundreds of years of tradition. The way it's going to work is very simple. I'm going to introduce them. They're going to walk in through those doors. Now, don't do it yet. You're all going to stand, right? We stand, and it might feel a bit weird because we stand in silence. We don't do anything. There's nothing to do. Walk, 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 walk. And then she comes to this seat with her spouse. When she gets to her seat, I'm going to get an official nod. When I get that nod, then music plays. It's the formal music. That's about 60 seconds. So the music doesn't play, walk, 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 stand, music. We all still stand. And then when the music finishes, they sit down and then we sit down. Very fancy, right? So that's how that's going to work, just so you're ready for it. If you're a person who just got a new hip put in this afternoon, and this is one of the few places I can make that joke. But if you're the person who is not comfortable standing, please, you don't have to. It's only if you can, and it's fine. It's not. Now I'm digging myself into a hole, all right? Do you want me to be louder? Would that help? I'm sorry. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. I think I've explained it all. Are we ready for the fancy part? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else involved in this evening here tonight, all my friends and folks, if you would please rise and join me in welcoming our vice-regal party, the Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, Her Honour, the Honourable Salma Lakhani, and her spouse, His Honour, Dr. Zahir Lakhani. Oh, she's coming from there. My bad. Not very pompy, Dave. Please be seated. Welcome, Your Honors. It's a pleasure to have both of you with us here tonight. And for the rest of us, you maybe didn't know this, but the music you heard, Jim Gray was playing the drums in that piece. And I think he did a fantastic job. Also, another very important part of our night, as we know, let me give you the rundown. The salads are in front of you. You can't start just yet because we're going to have a blessing, but you're going to start very soon. Then what's going to happen is we're going to have some speakers. Jim Gray and some other folks are going to say a few words while we eat. Your job in that point is to chew very quietly because we want to keep things tight. Not that there's a hockey game, but we want to keep things tight for those that want to make sure they're home for part of the game that we do that. Then there's going to be some speeches. Then your main courses will come out. That'll give you lots of time to talk at your table during the main courses. As the mains are finishing up, then we're going to get to meet all our top 7 over 70 recipients one at a time here on this stage where I get to sit down and talk to them and you'll find out a bit about them. It is really one of my favorite events, and there's so much wisdom not only in this room but you'll see on this stage. It's heartwarming and it's inspiring and it's great. So that's all going to happen. Also very important tonight and every night that we acknowledge the traditional territories of the Blackfoot nations, which include the Siksika, the Piikani, and the Kainai. We also acknowledge Tsuut'ina, Stoney Nakoda First Nations, and Métis Region 3, and all people who make this home in the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. There's for thousands of years, right where we are, people have come together to talk, to trade, and to share wisdom. And that's exactly what we get to do here tonight, so we're all lucky. So I know we have a fair amount of Indigenous friends in our audience. Can we thank them with a thunderous round of applause? Thank you all for being here. Now, we are very lucky because one of this year's top 7 over 70 honorees, Miksik or as some others know him, Clarence Wolfleg, a Canadian Indigenous elder. So earlier, he had this special prayer and dinner blessing for us in both Blackfoot and English that he is going to show us, or that we're going to watch right now. Here it is.
Ai späätäpiu. Ai kipitaki. Kaapua kamukkilaanoksitskui kaaki. Haaks nog kaawaatsimui kahtamaaks noksin kakkiaaki. Oogaks soka piona toka noksaaks ajanaakuieniksi. Ikitsi kipipposteeksaniksi. Hanniksi otstoimsoaista naakkue. Aisti päätäpiu nog vaakkamukkina kanää sokaappi. Ahkomaan sitä sokaappi niin päätäpiussani siistumsin taksouma tapskuukin. Ajoisti päätäpiu mitkä nog poatsimui kanää tapiu. Aukis streamiksi akautitskaatun kääksanaakkoja. Otsi tapiimua, eikö hän otsi kimmaan, eikö sähkaa päätseni, kun jää. Hän istu tästut siippuja. Aukiisti päätäpiupis pommoukin näin. Ei taamukana vaan niitä keapumahkahpinaan. Sähkät siitä taamahkan nohpinaan. Hän nikä issohtsek. Aukiisti päätäpiu. Niitä kannah povaatse muikka näyttäpiu. Hän nekin nohkan sitten katsomattisti päätäpiu. Hookin oksihka tuupina nappiuussa. Niistä otsimaan kammottaani ahsipäätäpius. Ajoista päätäpiu. Aiki pitääkin. Auki. We ask our Father, the Creator, and Mother Earth, our grandmother of the earth, that you guide us and bless us this today. All those that are receiving the recognition as the top 7 over 70, that their families will continue to remember the achievements of those that are receiving this prestigious award. I pray they call on me to call on you, Creator, to bless all the families and all that came, and all those that have gone ahead. I pray that we continue to work together and do the things that you have guided us to do right here on Mother Earth. I pray that we take the good thoughts and the memories of this night, that we continue to help each other in every way we can. Okay, I pray that these things will come about in the future, that we continue to honor ourselves and our people. I pray these for all people. I pray for good fortune, good raising of our children, and I pray for all the right things to always look to our Creator in everything that we do.
You never know if you should think, do you applaud for a blessing? I don't know, but he's right here and it's beautiful, so I think we should. Thank you, Clarence. All right, this is the part where you get to start your salads gently and quietly while I bring up our first speaker. Would you welcome with me the Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, Her Honor, the Honorable Salma Lakhani. Come on up here.
Thank you. So, hello everyone. I want to begin by acknowledging all our First Peoples. They are the ones who welcomed us here to make our own lives. They have been here for thousands of years. May we always dwell together on these lands with peace, respect, and understanding. And this acknowledgement, I would like to say, is but the beginning of our path to reconciliation. So thank you so much, Dave, for that wonderful welcome and the pomp and ceremony. And Dave is right. I haven't been to too many events because I was installed during COVID, and we're just now getting over COVID. So thank you for that very, very warm welcome filled with pomp and circumstance. And I'd also like to say thank you to my aide-de-camp here, Randy Fisher. I don't know if you know, but these men and women who accompany the vice-regals, lieutenant governors, they volunteer their time. So Randy Fisher, who is from Calgary, has been volunteering with the Lieutenant Governor's office since 2000. He's been a volunteer with my office for 22 years. And I am sad to say that this gig, this event, is Randy's last event with me and my office because he is moving to BC. So I would like to publicly really thank Randy for all his voluntary service to our Lieutenant Governor's office. So, as Her Majesty the Queen's representative in Alberta, it is my sincere pleasure to offer my heartfelt congratulations to all our amazing top 7 over 70 honorees. I would also like to recognize the driving force behind this award, the remarkable and unstoppable Jim Gray. My husband Zahir and I had the privilege of first being introduced to Mr. Gray several years ago by the late Sandy McTaggart, then Chancellor of the University of Alberta, where Zahir was a University Senate member at the time. The more we have learned of Mr. Gray's community involvement over the past many decades, the more we are in awe of his accomplishments and the depth of his commitment. Thank you, Jim, for all you have done and continue to do for our fellow Albertans, Canadians, and the global human family. In honoring the recipients of the Top 7 over 70 award this evening, there is much to learn from all of their remarkable examples, including their shared commitment to lifelong innovation and learning, their tireless devotion to giving back, and their sustained and thoughtful contributions in a wide range of endeavors. Having met some of them over the past many years and knowing what exemplary Canadians they are, it is so wonderful that all of us are able to have this in-person opportunity to express our collective appreciation and to be able to acknowledge their ongoing and lasting contributions. Each one of them reminds us of the tremendous power that comes from greeting each day with energy, with optimism, and with a willingness to contribute the best of our ideas and abilities to something bigger than ourselves. In short, they stand as inspiring examples of what it means to be active and engaged at any age. Each one of you being recognized this evening has a track record of community volunteerism that goes back not years, but decades. I am also very appreciative of the work that Jim and the team at Intergen are doing to encourage mentoring between seasoned community leaders like our award recipients and young Alberta innovators. It is a critical and fundamental linkage to foster, and like all of you here, I too am excited to know that such an extraordinary wealth of strength, knowledge, and innovation is available to inspire and encourage those who will lead the way in the future. If our young leaders are able to take a page from this evening's honorees to embrace each day as an opportunity to learn, grow, and share the best of who they are with the world, then I think our province and country will certainly be in good hands. In our culture, there is a word called seva, which literally translated means service to others. I have come to realize that seva is ingrained in the Canadian psyche and above all in the recipients we are honoring today. Congratulations to all our amazing top 7 over 70, and thank you for all your seva, past, present, and future. Now let us all enjoy this evening's celebration. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Just beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Honor. Now, our next special guest is an individual who's very familiar with the extraordinary accomplishments of our older adults. She is the Minister of Seniors and Housing for the province of Alberta. Would you please welcome with words from the province, Minister Josephine Pon. Come on up, Josephine. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Sure. Thank you. I know you're kind of disappointed. You should see a seniors minister. Yes, I'm a senior minister, but not there yet. Are we there? It's always a great pleasure joining top 7 and 70s. Good evening. Your Honor, you're busy? Hello? I just come back from Edmonton. I drive all the way down. Hope I didn't get a speeding ticket. I just want to meet everyone. It's my great pleasure, and all the distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen again. What a great turnout. Last 2 years hasn't been easy for everyone, but tonight it proved that. It proved that we are back. A great celebrations for everyone. And my pleasure, a great pleasure, is to bring a greeting on behalf of Premier Jason Kenney and my government colleagues. So I'm so pleased to be here again and then with you in person, as I mentioned, and Top 7 Over 70 Award Gala. I love how this event celebrates those smart, intelligent, good-looking people who are adding on a great idea on starting a new venture, and it just happened to happen over age 70. It's just the beginning. We all know the individuals over the age of 70 who are contribute in bold and innovative way to their communities. They are using their experience, wisdom, gained over the years to come up with the fantastic ideas in business, the art, science, regulations, the environment, culture, and many other areas. These individuals are bringing innovatives to life that will benefit people of all ages and also communities. We help inspire the next new generations with their accomplishments. Tonight, we celebrate those who live in our wonderful cities and surrounding areas. But we know that among the Albertans, more than over 700,000 seniors, a large number, continue to contribute in so many ways to our beautiful province. And that's including our wonderful volunteers, many of them here tonight. That is still time to nominate someone for an award very close to my heart, the Minister's Senior Service Award. This award recognizes the volunteer service to support seniors and outstanding service who have provided long-term volunteer service to their community. These volunteers are creative and work hard to fill in the gap that they see a need, and much like the individuals with honor tonight. We honor tonight. Yes, please, for our all recipients. Congratulations to all our wonderful recipients tonight, and please keep up the great work. I'm inspired by your ideas and your executions of those ideas, and I'm grateful for your contributions to our city, to our region. We know seniors continue to work, to volunteer, and to make a difference. Please stay involved and continue to contribute to your community, to our wonderful province. I can't wait to hear more about your next bright idea. Thank you so much and enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister Pond. Our next speaker couldn't be here in person, but Calgary's mayor also wanted to be part of the evening, so she sent a video. So this is a video from the mayor of Calgary, Her Worship, Jody Gondek.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of my council colleagues and all Calgarians, I want to congratulate the top 7 over 70 award recipients. Tonight, we gather to remember that no matter a person's age, you can still have lofty goals that propel you to be the best version of yourselves. Our dreams do not have an age limit, and I'm constantly in awe of the contributions of Calgary's seniors. Your experience has positioned you to understand our community challenges as well as the opportunities. You not only know the questions we're asking today, but the questions that we must start thinking about for tomorrow. Your commitment to making Calgary a better place for all of us is inspirational. I hope you have a great award ceremony, and congratulations to our top 7 over 70.
Thank you so much. And in the room, we have 3 councillors who are joining us here. I'm always grateful of politicians. It's got to be the most thankless job out there, and that people are willing to serve us in that way is always appreciated. So we have councillors Andre Chabot, Dan McLean, and Courtney Walcott. Wherever you are, could you stand up and give us a wave while we give you a thank you? Thank you so much. Now, you all know that a night like this wouldn't happen without generous friends and sponsors who are willing to put money and time behind making this evening happen. So we wanted to thank them, and here's a video of just some of them.
Some of us make a contribution to life, and these ones that you've been selected, 7 people have done remarkable things. This is one of the best countries in the world. I am so proud of what they've done for this country and other countries as well. It's obvious what they have done in their specific fields. And that's the combination that has made this country what it is. Business leaders, leaders in different categories, and we're damn good at what we do. And so this is the kind of recognition that they didn't want necessarily, but they've earned it, and rightfully so, and God bless them. I wish them all well to continue on.
Now,
Supporting Albertans to live their best lives at all ages. We continue to expand on our commitment to promote wellness for older Albertans through partnerships such as the Alberta Core, Healthy Aging Collaborative online resources and education hub. Our COVID Community Roots program supported a range of grassroots programs for seniors in rural, remote, and Indigenous communities across Alberta. We collaborated with the Alberta Injury Prevention Centre to re-engage seniors through the Keeping Well resource. We're a proud sponsor of the Alberta 55+ Games. And we're thrilled to sponsor the Top 7 over 70 program, which recognizes the exceptional contributions of older adults in our community.
is it now? I can go now. How about that? Let's hear it for the sponsors. Now, I don't know if you can see this young fella behind me, but we've already talked to him about him a little bit. He's a famous drummer, but also a famous guy for getting everything going and especially making our city great and making this evening happen. The founder, would you please welcome to the microphone, Mr. Jim Gray. Come on up here, Jim.
Well, thank you very much, Dave, and your honor, and others that are here. I've been admonished to stick to the script, otherwise I'll be here too long, so I'm going to do that. Tonight is a truly special night. When we first began talking about the concept of 7 over 70, we knew it was an idea whose time has come, and boy, has it ever. When I look around this room and I see everyone gathered to celebrate the top 7 over 70 for the third time, I'm both thrilled and excited. We live in an aging society. So it's more important than ever before to utilize and capitalize upon the talents of seniors. They have life experiences and business expertise that can make a huge difference in companies owned by younger entrepreneurs and innovators. Seniors have a key role to play in the revitalization of our community as the fastest growing demographic of our society. We cannot afford not to have seniors contribute to our overall quality of life. At this time in our history, we need all hands on deck. If you want an idea of what seniors can contribute after the age of 70, just take a look at this year's winners. They are making a difference in each and every day in almost every field imaginable, from science and philanthropy to athletics, to business, to the arts, to reconciliation, to community building. So I sincerely congratulate each of tonight's winners. And I want to thank everybody who's here, each and every one of you for being here and supporting the Top 7 over 70 program. And of course, I want us to thank our sponsors who have helped us celebrate our winners and provide proceeds that support our Intergen program. And I'm just going to move away from my script for 1 minute and just tell you about our dream. Our dream is that one day this wonderful Calgary success becomes a national program. The top 70 over 70 from coast to coast. And it would be another example of Calgary and Alberta showing the way. And you should know we've had a little hiatus with the virus, but we're going to be back at it, so stay tuned. So let me just continue and say that those of you unfamiliar with Intergen, it is a unique venture hub and matching platform that creates intergenerational teams. Before we watch a short video about Intergen, I want to spend just a moment and tell you about the visionary catalyst behind this great initiative. That visionary catalyst is my friend Brian Fileski. When we first conceptualized the seniors program in 2015, 16, 17, we agreed there'd be two components to success. First, a recognition component that we call the top 7 over 70. And second, a component that we call that supports the ongoing economic vibrancy of the community. That's Intergen. Brian Fileski has been the inspiration and the champion of Intergen from the very beginning. Both he and his team have done an absolutely fantastic job of building this initiative into what it has become today. So, before we hear from Brian, let's just watch the video, and then we will hear from the champion and the founder of Intergen, Brian Fileski. Thank you.
Intergen was founded on the belief that we had a whole bunch of senior executives on the street in Calgary that could support the next generation of entrepreneurs, but they weren't connected. So Intergen really was built to build that bridge between the senior executive and the young entrepreneur that needed their help, their expertise, their connections, and maybe even their capital to help them grow and scale their businesses right here in Calgary.
And I remember it being described as kind of like plenty of fish for entrepreneurs and business executives. That won't make the cut, I'm sure. But
it is kind of a plenty of fish thing. Interestingly enough, we have a really good example for you. Darcy Tour, founder and CEO of a company called Zayzoon. He had revenue, he was growing his business, but he really needed some outside expertise to support the next journey of his growth.
the process was great for us with Intergen because we worked with Sandy and we had the opportunity to kind of do a needs assessment and make sure there was a values alignment between, our board, our team, and the people that they would bring to bear.
And Derek Payne came to us as a senior business leader with BusJet and DIRT.
I've always been interested in kind of growth. Show me a business, an idea, like the idea, there's a little bit of traction. Okay, now I'm going to come in and see if I can help you grow.
We had, I think, a really good fit with Derek. He proved himself to be an asset.
They certainly hit it off, and now today Derek sits on the board of Zayzoon and gives them all sorts of advice as they are accessing the capital they need to grow and really reaching broader global markets.
A big part of my philosophy when building the board out was let's bring people on that have done this, that have felt the pain, have had the wins in the domain that we're trying to win, right? And that's been a massive change for us as an organization.
Today, you might need help with a business model. Tomorrow, you might need help with a financial model. So we can pull different talent from our pool to help the entrepreneur with what they need on that time at that date.
Intergen's been there to support us from an investment perspective, and then, as I said, the intellectual capital side as well. So that's been an incredible asset to us.
So today, we have about 600 profiles built on the platform. We've done about 1,000 matches, and those change from just a connection to a customer, where somebody really needs access to a customer, or to someone that actually is playing an advisor role. So it's not about knowing about the tech, it's knowing about how to build a big global business, and we have that talent in spades in this city.
A great inspiration. Thanks for the video and a great team with Zayzoon. Your honors, dear distinguished top 7 over 70, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Gray, you're way too modest. You're always deferring. Congratulations and applause to other people. You're our hero. I want to start by extending a big applause and reiterating our thanks to our donors, our patrons, our attendees, our sponsors. They are making the vision of Energen possible. Also want to applaud our small but mighty team who are here, Sandy, Emily, Khalid, Jean-Marc, and Marcy. You're fantastic. As you've gathered, Energen's mission is to develop innovative enterprises here in Alberta and in Calgary. As you know, despite the huge increase in energy prices in our province of late, around the world of late, Alberta and Calgary still has the highest unemployment rate in the country. So it says in Technicolor, we have to diversify our economy. We have to be more innovative for our future. We want to retain our youth. We want to do this for our kids and for grandkids. A hell of a lot has been done recently in this regard by different arms of the private sector and the public sector, and we're very grateful. But a great deal more has to be done for us in Calgary and Alberta to be competitive with Toronto, with Vancouver, and Montreal. And we're going to do it. As was mentioned, the primary focus of Energen is to match talent of seniors with young, bright entrepreneurs. And the energy and the coalition of the happening together has been magnificently successful. It makes a dramatic difference on the acceleration of those enterprises. The matches work. As Sandy alluded to in the video, we proudly liken ourselves to a matching platform like Plenty of Fish. And we've made over 1,000 matches, marriages, if you will. And these marriages, thank you very much, are doing very, very well. We have created thousands of jobs. We've already raised through the enterprise of these organizations over $110 million right here in our province. We're also proud to report to you that in addition to connection, there's a learning element that Sandy and the team also referred to, and we host and have hosted over 175 learning sessions where our advisors attend, our entrepreneurs attend, and in little over 4 years, we've had 4,000 people attend our learning sessions. Great team, great congratulations. So that's our story, but with our expansion and our booming vision, as Jim referred to, we need more senior advisors. So all you talented people out there, 55 and over, who have time on your hands, you don't want to golf 5 days a week. Doesn't improve your golfing anyway. But if you can get engaged as an advisor with young, bright entrepreneurs, it's inspirational, it is gratifying, and it makes a big difference to them, to their enterprise, and to the community. And it was also alluded to, Energen has a capital fund, and we're pleased to say that together with other wonderful venture capital funds in the province, we've been investing in companies that have revenues over $1.5 million to $2 million, companies who are at risk, that if we don't invest in them, they could well go elsewhere to get their financing. So we're doing that, and we're doing it proudly. So thank you so much for your support, your engagement, your attendance, and together we're building a better future for Calgary and Alberta, for our families and the future. Thank you. Yay.
Now, Brian, before you go, just wait a minute. we have something, and then I say we, it's the executive committee of the top 7 over 7 that we want to say to you. The work you've done with Intergen is truly remarkable, as you've outlined here. You put together a hub that is bringing together young and old to create multi-generational teams that are making a difference. You're raising the vital capital that's needed. You're helping to rejuvenate our economy, to create jobs, to expand the opportunities in our city. And for that and for everything else that you do in our community, we want to say a big thank you. And we have a special gift for you as the top 7 over 70 is where we go from.
Yay!
You guys go forward and take your pictures.
You're bringing me to tears. Thank you so much.
Now, to keep things going, I'll just keep it as they'll take their pictures here and go forward. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kim McConnell, and I am the chair of the Top 7 over 70 Organizing Committee. Now, the journey that we have to this year's gala is unforgettable. It has been wonderful. For starters, we're 7 months late. We're 7 months ago. We normally have our gala in the fall, but then we had this thing called a pandemic. And the pandemic gave us the opportunity to reflect on a few things and to reflect on what we need as a community in our lives. So we come up with a little idea that we called Noble Neighbors. Noble Neighbors to recognize the work that seniors have been doing to make our community a little bit better. So we recognize seniors that are doing things from tutoring school kids, to repairing bikes, to shoveling snow, to cutting lawns, to sewing masks, thousands and thousands of masks. You can read about Noble Neighbors in your program that you have tonight, and it's on page 7. And a couple of them are here tonight, and we just want them to stand and wave, and let's say, thank you, Noble Neighbors. We're a great community as a result of people like you. So please stand and let us thank them. We also have a new venture that we tried out this year. We called it Top 7 in a Box. It's just a pilot. And what we've done is that we've taken the gala to 2 senior residents in the city here. So tonight, they're having their gala experience with the red carpet, the whole works. Their hosts are 2 young Canadians and show band members from the Calgary Stampede. And they're going to see what Dave is going to show here, the events, it's all going to come to them, and they're going to have that. And we're going to try that because we think there's lots of opportunities for that kind of thing throughout the country and throughout the city and throughout the province. We're also live streaming this event tonight, and it's amazing to see the spirit that is coming over to various people in the city, in the province, and across Canada that are zeroing in on what we're doing here tonight. I'm also pleased to say that the Top 7 is partnering with Heritage Park, one of the true gems that we have in our city, in this city we call Calgary. We're going to put a permanent Top 7 over 7 exhibit at Heritage Park. That's going to be the home for where we're going to be doing that kind of thing. Now, we got lots of other events that we're going to do that'll interact and bring the stories to life, and that's where we're going to be able to do. So you'll hear more about it. So right now, you're just getting a glimpse because we're just announcing that's what we're doing tonight. But this partnership is really good. And if you look in your program, you're going to see that Heritage Park has given each of us a gift. For the recipients, they got season passes. For each of us, we get pass to go for 2 of us to be able to go down and experience Heritage Park for the weekend that just opened up this past weekend. Let's get after it and let's go and see it. So thank you, Heritage Park, and we look forward to working with you. I also want to briefly say thank you to the organizing committees that have worked to put on this. In the past little over a year, we've held 24 meetings to be able to host this thing to come together. This committee of leaders is a committee of leaders that generate positive results, from encouraging nominations to raising funds to selling tickets to do the whole works. And once again, we sold out as a result of the work of the committee. I am so honored to be able to work with those people. I am specifically want to call out one person, Emily Hillman. Emily is the one who has pulled us all together. She's the quarterback that brings it all together for us. And Emily, thank you so much for everything that you are doing. I should also note, way to go. I should also note that the future incoming chair is Monica Zerlinski. Monica will be taking over from me and will be carrying this through. She's been involved with us since 2017. She's the one that's done all the communications, and she's in a well position to be able to take us to the next one, which is 2023. So hang on to your hats, folks. You better start getting your tickets pretty soon, because in 2023, Dave will be telling us a little bit more about it. Finally, I need to say a big thanks to every one of you. Thanks for ticket purchasers, for patrons, for the community partners, for the sponsors. All of you are part of the Top 7 Over 70 family. We thank you with the bottom of our hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dave, over to you. Carry on the show.
Okay, I will. I don't even need a podium. Is it just me, or when you were watching that, did you think, man, Kim could use just a bit more energy? Didn't you think? Just a bit more zip in that speech would have been nice, huh? Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Jim. And thanks, Brian, as well, and congratulations. And thanks to Heritage Park. I didn't know there were prizes. That's very exciting. And I was just talking to Marg Southern, and because she's one of the recipients, and she's behind starting of Spruce Meadows, everyone gets a pony tonight. So if you just want to go chat with Ian, he's right here, and he'll set that whole thing up for everyone. Just go tell him your height and weight, and he'll get you. You imagine? That'd be good, though, huh? You could say, I was at the event. Everybody won a pony. It was crazy. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to pause so you can eat and talk amongst your tables and enjoy each other's company. And then a little later on, we're going to set up some chairs up here, and we're going to get to meet our incredible recipients. Enjoy your meal, everyone. We'll be back soon. Hi, folks. You know, I have to tell you a quick story. While I was doing a big conference in Niagara Falls, a bunch of bank people were there, and all the folks who were working at the conference, all the servers and the people organizing and people giving us the food and everything you would think, I said to them, thanks so much for this. And there's like, we're just thankful we're working again. And I think for all of our servers who are still here, we're so grateful that you're working and you're here with us. So thank you. Thank you all so much, everyone here at the Hyatt, for being so gracious. And speaking of watching, there are people who've been watching this as a live stream. And I wrote down there are 2 seniors' homes, Aged Care Seton and Silvera for Seniors in Westview Community. They are watching this event, having their own Top 7 in their places now, and watching ours here. And I just wanted to say, not just on behalf of everyone in the room, but to echo what all of our speakers have said, that seniors are the ones who are still the leaders, who are the wisdom that we need and the drive that we need and the insight that we need. So for those of you watching, I'm going to have everyone in the room. There's a camera. See the camera back there? They're watching through that camera. So when I go 1, 2, 3, we're all going to yell and clap and wave to the folks at home in the 2 seniors' homes watching us, and know that we're so glad you're there and we're so glad you're part of our night tonight. So for everyone down there, let's hear it for our seniors watching. Give them a big wave and a round of applause. Thanks for being here. Yay! Isn't that great? Look at you. And I'm not positive, Ian, maybe you can help me with this. Do they all get ponies too, or is it just in there? Everyone gets a pony. Well, this is really working out well, isn't it? Now, this is a very special night and a very special time where we get to meet and hear from our Top 7 Over 70 recipients. And I'm going to sit here. They're going to come up and sit here. and we're going to get to know them and learn a little bit about what they have done. So our first recipient is Murray McCann. Now, Murray and Bev, come on up here, Murray and Bev. And while Murray is coming up here and getting seated and comfortable and ready, I also want to invite Brent Pickerel is joining us from I'll sit with you. How about that? Thanks, Bev. Brent Pickerel is with us here from Sandstone Management, and he's one of our sponsors and friends in the evening and helped set this one up. Can we welcome Brent to the stage? Thanks for being here, Brent.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave. It's an absolute honor to be here this evening. For several years, Sandstone has supported Intergen, and through investments, through board of directors, collaborations, and tonight as a sponsor. Continually impressed with Intergen's impact on both ends of the spectrum. On one side, their ability to connect people, funding, ideas, energy. Anyone who's been to an event of theirs quickly realizes the energy that is created in a simple handshake, especially in this city. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, their ability to highlight, recognize, celebrate these 7 remarkable humans, to identify a problem, seize the opportunity, and create a better world for you and I. Please help me congratulate the top 7 over 70 award recipient, Murray McCann.
Hey! Thank you, Brent. Now, Brent is going to be back to present your award, but first, let's have a look at the video that'll let people know just a little bit about you. Have a look, everyone. When he turned 70, business leader Murray McCann wanted to honor Albertans who died serving our country. 13 years later, Calgary's Field of Crosses is a 5-acre memorial that is lit and open to the public 24/7 from November 1st to 11th. A visible reminder of the 3,500 fellow Albertans who gave up their tomorrows for our todays. A team of hundreds of volunteers organized 2 services with choirs, military, and dignitaries taking part. The November 11th ceremony is seen by hundreds of thousands live and online. The field has also become the site for National Day of Awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, and for services to other frontline workers.
So I was driving in the Blue Ridge Mountains, going to a little historic town called Menlo. As I was coming up the hill, there were 3 crosses. As I slowed down, I could read names on the horizontal bar, and then I realized these were soldiers. I pulled over and I started to sob, and I've never had an experience like it, and I wanted to do something to make Calgarians hopefully have the same experience as I had.
Murray's a tough guy to describe. He's a highly successful businessman and has embarked in this philanthropic career almost is with the same fervor that he attacked his business career. It all starts with a vision, and then he has the ability to action that vision. I hope people get a chance to thank him for what he does for our city. It's pretty amazing.
It always feels good to have recognition for something you have done. It encourages you to just keep on going, but I was going to keep on going anyway. I love what I do.
Hey! Well, welcome, Murray. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you with us here.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions. One is this Beacons of Hope. I mentioned it, but tell the story a bit about Beacons of Hope and what that is.
Well, I was reading in the Herald, actually, about the morale of the police was down. And I've had a lot of experience with the police, especially the Field of Crosses. They show up every morning, volunteers for the service. They're there in the evening. When we have breakfast for the kids, they're there, they sit with the kids. They're volunteers doing everything. And what a lot of people don't realize, the field of crosses, 3,620 crosses, the anchors are put in by volunteer policemen. Those guys are the greatest group of men and women that you'll meet anywhere. And to think that the morale was down and getting all of this bad press, and everybody I talked to said, we love our police. So I said, well, let's show them. And that was the whole purpose of Beacons of Hope.
Great. Isn't that? Now, I want to talk a bit about the field of crosses and what you're part of. But first, I have to tell you a quick story. On November 11th, I think it was 3 years ago, my son John, who at the time was 8, was very interested in what the day meant, but also he'd watched a couple of war movies and he was interested. And so he said, can we go to the field? So we show up on November 11th. I don't know if you know, but that's kind of a big day. So I'm in there in the Jetta, and we just drive up, and there's people running around, and there's things going on. And like an idiot, I just drive up and go, can we come in here and look around? Like they weren't busy. And somebody said, it's actually, and then he stopped. And then he said, you know what, just come in. Why don't you just park over here and head in? And I said to my son, I said, that's a top down. If the guy in charge is a decent person, then everyone is a decent person. And your leadership got us, no business there, just walking around on our own. And that was because of you and because of the work you've done. And I want to say thank you, because it meant a lot to John and to me that you did that. So thank you so much for that. Now, I was doing the voiceover, as we all heard, of this video, and it's over 3,600. And I'm thinking, how did you find the 3,600? Is there just a list somewhere, or how do you know who those people were?
Well, you know, it was interesting when we started, there is no record kept of where the soldiers that lost their life, didn't come back, are from. The records are kept by battalion. And so we went to the Legion to see, and they didn't really have a list, but they estimated there'd be 850. So there's 3,620 already. So we'd already forgotten that those who gave up their lives from southern Alberta. So anyway, the first year we started getting, I guess, the low-hanging fruit, and we had 360. And but then we got a website. People were sending in information saying, you know, my great-grandfather was from Pincher Creek, and he went off and didn't come back. And then we could research it, and if that in fact was the case, then he got his cross, and he'll have his cross forever. And then we sent a group down into southern Alberta, and they went into the churches and saw the names in the back of the older churches. The cenotaphs had names. We went to all of the legions. And then we had probably about 2,300. And now with the website, people are sending in the names, and we research them. And if in fact that's the case, they have a cross, and they'll have a cross forever.
Now, I wanted Murray to tell that story because of the inspiration behind this. Wasn't an idea he had on Tuesday, and it happened Wednesday, and it was done. This is something that took years, and it took years of research, years of teams being involved, and all of us in Calgary get to drive by and go, isn't that a beautiful thing? And any of us that have seen a beautiful thing know that there's somebody behind it that put in way more work than any of us even realize. And it started when you were 70. That was when you got the idea. So how many years ago was that? I'm not trying to find out your age, I'm just curious.
I could try about 13.
13 years ago is when that started.
But one thing I want to...
Oh, yeah.
I want to make it very clear. there are a pile of volunteers involved in this. It's not me doing it all. I was perhaps the catalyst, but the city of Calgary is very involved.
If I want to, and it is true, and I know that it is true, and I know that they exist because you exist, but if I want to grow up to be Murray, what's your advice for people like me who are 23, 24 years old? I don't know why you're laughing, Murray. This is serious. But no, for all of us who aren't 70 yet, who say, what is the secret for you to say this is what aging can look like?
Well, you know, when you get a little older, you don't take everything quite as seriously as you did when you were younger and get concerned about making mistakes and that. You just kind of do it and it flows. And if it's a good idea, you start and you keep building on it. And it's a nice place to be when you're over 70, actually.
I like it. We're going to bring Brent back, and I want you to walk over to Brent, and we're going to present you with your award. So come on up here, Murray. We'll get you set up here. You have an important assignment. You got to look there with Brent for your picture. While I tell everyone in the room, can we hear it for the man himself who's done so much for our city? Let's hear it for Mr. Murray McCann.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll put this on the table for you.
Yeah, ready.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Isn't it great? And you know, you're going to want to do this for all of them, Murray. They like you. I'm just saying, they like you, Murray. Now hi Grace, come have a seat. Grace and I are going to chat. She's our next recipient. You sit, Grace, and I'll sit too.
Grace.
Oh, Bonnie, sorry. Bonnie, Grace was the one who was coming up.
Yes.
Whew, that was close.
That's right.
Well, that would have been a tricky interview if I would have done that, huh?
Here's Bonnie.
Bonnie, we're so glad that you are here from Trico.
Or Grace is from Trico.
Man.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Grace Sue from Trico Living Well.
You're so good, you're allowed to make a mistake occasionally.
Trico Living Well is a new older adult community that focuses on living well. Very essence of what we are celebrating today. Lifelong learning, continuous contribution to society, human health, and holistic wellness. Tonight is a special night where we celebrate the vibrant contributions of those 70 or over in the Calgary and surrounding areas. The top 7 over 70 awards aligns with Trico Living Well's vision and mission to celebrate mature adults' continuous contribution to society, and working with organizations like Intergen and Great Intergen to create mentorship and volunteering opportunities for them. Tonight, I'm very honored and humbled to be here to present this top 7 over 70 award to Dr. Bonnie Kaplan. And actually, I have the opportunity to talk to Dr. Bonnie Kaplan, right? Did I pronounce it right? Actually, a few months ago, we were sitting at the same table, and I have learned so much from her. So I'm so happy that I'm actually presenting this award to you today. And I promise you I will be reading The Better Brain, the book, chapter 11. I will get there, for sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for your rich contributions, and congratulations again for making such a significant and inspiring impact to our society. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace, and thank you, Trico. Well done. So, Dr. Bonnie, before we get to chat, we also made a video for you, so let's have a look at that, and then we'll have a conversation. There is a huge gap between the 2.5 million scientific papers published each year and the people who could actually benefit from them. Since turning 70 and after a career in academics, Bonnie Kaplan saw an opportunity to bridge that gap and wrote a book, The Better Brain. It's about overcoming anxiety, combating depression, and reducing ADHD through deliberate work with micronutrients. Bonnie has also spearheaded fundraising for additional research in this area, with over $1 million raised in multiple funds around the globe. She also started Aspires, a parent group dedicated to finding housing support for high-needs adult children. She volunteers at the Drop-In Center, the Weaselhead Preservation Society, and the Tai Chi Society.
I first met Bonnie in 2013 when she was doing a guest lecture at University of Calgary. And her passion was powerful. I was hooked in the first 5 minutes. I became part of her fan club right then and there.
For 5 years, I've been funding studies, and the money has been going out and the publications have been coming in, and I'm just thrilled to influence the field that way, to get the knowledge translated.
Most people who say they're going to retire don't decide to write a book called The Better Brain.
I love what I'm doing. We're getting that information out there.
Wisdom is the sum of your life experiences. And as you get older, you just have more experiences.
We have great resources for seniors in Calgary, but they can't help people who don't reach out to them. Take from this the importance of talking to your neighbors who live alone. Seniors who live alone, they might not be doing okay. And so I think it's very reassuring to know who lives there and who lives there and how to reach out and reach people.
We are able to reach people across the globe, and hopefully Bonnie's research will influence more people around the world.
You have to feel connected. We have to in this world. Another reason to keep an eye on those seniors living alone, you see.
Hey, isn't that great? Isn't that great? Before we get to the formal interview, what micronutrients do you think would help me get my name straight? Is there anything you think that would do that?
Yeah, there must be one that's got a special thing for name. And whoever labeled the video, by the way, needs it too, because that wasn't Darlene, it was Deb Heimers. But that's okay. I mean, you know, as we get older, we're more and more tolerant to this. So, yeah.
I'll tell you, like any other audience, I could have said, oh, I'm just having a seniors moment, but you can't really get away with that here. Now, but in seriousness, why, Bonnie, why is it that you do what you do?
Well, the reason my award is not just for writing a book, as we all know. I'm really passionately committed to changing the way mental health treatment is provided, because it is not doing a very good job right now. Our mental health treatment needs help. And I'm going to use an example, Dave, okay? So, have you ever injured yourself, broken a leg or something like that? Okay, if you go to seek medical care for a broken bone or a chronic illness, in our society, in Western society, we can assume that the treatment that is offered to us, what is recommended, is based on the overall scientific evidence base of what is the best treatment. We assume that, and we're probably right to assume it. Excuse me. But that is not true for mental health, or in fact for dementia. It is, right now, all of our treatment is based upon pharmaceutical clinical trials. And it's only the integrative physicians, and we don't have very many of them in Alberta yet, who are aware of the vast evidence base that my colleagues and I have contributed to and have come from around the world, that shows what can be done with nutrition. And why it's so logical, it's simply that nutrients provide the foundation of our mental resilience, of our mental health. Nutritional intake predicts our risk for mental disorders and dementia, and there are very excellent studies on that. And they're not being incorporated into practice yet. We call this knowledge translation. So why I do what I do is that there's a lot of knowledge that needs to be translated.
Isn't that great?
May I add to it?
It's your stage. It's your night.
I'm just remembering who I'm speaking to here. If there are people out there who have more influence than I do on the policymakers and the mental health system, I would dearly love to hear from you. Okay?
That's great. Now, I'm going to ask you about what you've learned since you've been 70, but what lesson do you carry with you that you learned before you were 70?
I think it has to do with the kind of people I want to interact with. And I think it's so delightful to interact with people who are energetic and positive and keen to make a difference in the world. And that means people like 7 over 70, you know, the whole organization here. It means people like those who nominated me, who are the end step people, and that's Deb Heimers and Darlene Schindel, who are both in the audience. They were just mislabeled in the video, but that's okay. They're the ones who are on the front lines who are teaching the teachers how to educate our children, because we're in big trouble with our children, you know. Only about 1/3 of what our children are putting in their mouths actually contain the micronutrients, minerals and vitamins that their brains need for optimal function. That's a terrible social experiment we're running, and they're out in the front lines. I point over there because they're both sitting over there, really trying to change the world. So that's what I learned before 70. I want to work around positive, energetic people.
Wow, that's a great. Now talk about after 70. Now what have you learned?
70?
Yeah.
Just persist. You know, don't give up. If you know you're right, and that's the, you know, really the test, isn't it? If you know that what you're doing is right and has the potential for improving society, then you persist.
Now that kind of dovetails into my final question for you, which is, so then what is your advice for those of us who want to be that? Is it persist, or is there more to that too?
Well, there's a lot more. You have to have a lot of good networking and a lot of good support and a lot of good family support. But if you are interested in doing something and you're passionate about it, don't worry about what the calendar says for your birthday. I mean, just you know, ignore those numbers and be glad you're here. And just as long as you can, stay out of the rocking chair and do something. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to invite Grace to come back up with the award, and we're going to present that to you, Bonnie. But before, well, we can stand up while we do this. One more time, the name of the book, if people want that book. Bonnie, what's the book called?
The book is called The Better Brain, but there are a lot of books out there with similar names, so look for The Purple Cauliflower. Thank you.
Have a look. We're going to take your picture.
Oh, she's there.
There you go. Congratulations again, Bonnie. Let's hear it one more time for Bonnie Kaplan, our next top 7 over 70 recipient. Right? How do you not? Isn't this the best? Isn't it so the best? Marg Southern is our next recipient. Marg, you have a seat. And then I think, yes, we just get to go right into our conversation. So before Marg and I talk, and first, thanks so much for all the ponies. Very nice of you to do that, Marg. Let's have a look at the video of Marg Southern. The Canadian Premier League was formed in 2017, bringing top-tier men's professional soccer to Canada. There was an opportunity to build the brand and raise the profile of Calgary, so after a career of building Spruce Meadows, one of the world's top show-jumping facilities, Marg Southern stepped up to start the Calvary Football Club. But that's not all Marg did in her 80s. Tackling food insecurity, promoting local sports, encouraging good mental health, and supporting education at a grassroots local level through her Leg Up Foundation are all part of Marg's incredible contribution to Calgary since turning 70.
When you have a role model like our mom, Even when you feel tired and you don't want to get out of bed and you don't want to go to work that day, and there she is, still chugging along, working, learning.
Even at 90, I still have a fair amount of energy, although not nearly as much as I'd like to have.
She continues to try and improve herself and continues to embrace the community.
There's always things that need to be done, and if you see that there's a void and you can fill in and you can help, then I feel like I'm capable to still do it.
You know, she's come from humble beginnings, and she's very caring for other people, and always was, and will continue to be so. And that, I think she has a very big heart.
You know, you often think, well, what can I do when I'm older? But I have found out I can be busy every day of my life, and I like it. And you can help so many people, and I think in life we have to pass on what we've been so fortunate to have had.
Isn't that great? Now, it's nice to see Linda and Nancy in there, those two great daughters of yours. It must be fun to see them, isn't it?
I find them amazing.
They are good people. Why do you do what you do?
Because I love doing what I do, and I have to say that I feel a little bit uncomfortable here tonight in the seat taking this presentation, because there are 3 people in this audience tonight that should be up on this platform with me. And I know that's not protocol, but I must tell you, I have to tell the audience that, first of all, is my daughter Linda, who should be up here, who really believes in having this Cavalier team here in Calgary. Then there's Ian Allison, who is a walking encyclopedia of sports and who has been with Spruce Meadows for 45 years and has done everything from driving those horses to cleaning the barns to going to Lausanne and Geneva to fight the fight for us in Calgary and for Spruce Meadows. And then a new person in my world who is Mr. Tom, sorry.
That's all right.
I can't even tell him, he's sitting right in front of me. Wilton, who is the general manager and the coach of our cavalry soccer team. A wonderful young man who's a great ambassador for sport. I'm not so sure that soccer doesn't run right through all of his veins in his body.
It was great.
So thank you to those 3 people. I'm able to be here tonight because they did all the work behind the scenes with their team to make it happen for us to be able to have a professional soccer team right here in Calgary.
When you were younger, Marg, did you have a mentor or a hero or somebody that sort of taught you, that you learned from about being this kind of person?
It seems so long ago that I was young that that's a very difficult question, but I had parents who were always involved with things that were happening in the community, and they were really family people, but they, I think, in a way, they were my mentors. My mother told us from the time we were probably 5 years old, there's no such word as bored, or there's no such word as can't. You always can do something if you really put your mind to it. So I think probably my mother and father.
If you think of people like, 23-year-olds again, but for people like me who are going to be you someday and want to be you someday, what's your advice for the folks in the room to say, I want to be as vibrant and do as much as you have done? What's your advice for us?
I think probably is that never stop doing what you're doing and keep learning. Whether it doesn't matter what you're learning, it's always something out there that you can learn that's going to make it better for you in the future.
And probably buy a couple of soccer tickets while you're at it, if you do that too.
We probably, Ian and Linda and Tommy probably would give you some free ones. It's probably easier to give us some free tickets to the soccer game than it is to give a pony to everyone.
You are the best. Oh, that's so good. Now I want to, there's someone who's going to present. Is it Kim? It is Kim. How fun is that? Kim McConnell is going to come and present the award. So if you can, let's get you to stand up. Kim's going to present the award to you. There you are. And we're going to get a nice photograph. Why don't you come to us, Kim, so Marg doesn't have to move.
Thanks, Kim.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's look at the camera.
So this is us. This is what we can be when we're 90. This is a vision for what we can have. Let's hear it for Marg Southern, a top 7 over 70. They're great. We're going to bring up Don Taylor now. And I got to tell a quick story while Don's getting his mic and getting organized. So Don Taylor's our recipient. He is the man, and he, again, like many people will say, there's other people involved. But he's the man behind the Bella Concert Hall at Mount Royal University. Come on up here, Don. You can come have a chair while I tell a story about him. Have a seat. So I was telling Don that when the Bella started, they had an opening ceremonies, and they asked me to MC it. So I'm backstage with Don and various people there, and I walk out. They open the door, and I walk out, and everyone applauds because it's starting. And I said, isn't it ironic that this beautiful place that folks like Don have created and made, that's going to bring huge stars, big names, great talents, that the first person that you clapped for was me. And he said, that's good, though, because we can work our way up easily from there. So, Don, before you and I talk, let's have a look at the video we prepared. There are more than 500 cities in the world with a population over 1 million people, and every one of them is in a fierce competition to be a leader in academics, technology, and education. Don Taylor has made it his mission to keep Calgary, Canada, front and center of that competition. After a successful business career, Don has committed almost $100 million since turning 70. Leaders like Don Taylor keep Calgary not only a place of pride for us, but will continue to attract the brightest and best to make Calgary their home.
He gives because he cares. And people that care about their community can offer so many things. They take our many institutions from good to great to excellence.
Everybody in this province owes something to the people in the province. And when you're able to afford philanthropy, lots of opportunity for giving out there.
The things that he's chosen to fund are things that belong to the community, really, that everyone can appreciate.
We have what we established as the 4 legs of our foundation, and it's art, history, education, and health. Some people will say it's too narrow, but we think that there's lots of opportunities in those 4 areas.
I really feel that Don needs to be publicly thanked for what he's done, and that we show others that we really appreciate what you do for our community and for our city, because it's also an inspiration to others.
Put my name out there to set an example for other people, to try to encourage them to be generous.
And it makes you proud, makes the city great, and it's a wonderful thing for people living in the city as well as people coming to the city. This is Calgary. This is what we do. This is how generous we are, and we're proud of it.
Giving a lot of money after your death doesn't seem to strike the bell for me. I'd like to get some satisfaction out of it.
It's great, eh, Don? Now, I know that your father was a farmer, What sort of influence did that man, the farmer, have on who you are?
Well, both my mother and father were farmers, and unfortunately during the Depression, when times were tough and the crops were poor, they lost the farm to taxes. And my mother ran a boarding house and my father worked as a laborer. And I got the work ethic from watching those two people strive in their later years to try to maintain a living for themselves and for me. And I truly appreciate their efforts, and I tried to follow that example.
Why do you continue to do that now?
Well, I think that everybody should stay active. If you don't, I think the mind withers and the heart decays, and just like the supplements that Bonnie was talking about, work is a great tonic and a great stimulant for good health.
There's your advice.
You know, it's a little bit like the ever-ready bunny that, you know, keeps beating that drum and running around. Well, you just keep doing it until the battery dies. That's the way to do it.
Well, I got to say, you got some battery, so we're fortunate. What have you learned since you were 70? Is there anything that sticks in your mind?
Well, I've learned that there's an awful lot of people that are generous in our community. And I thought that by putting my name out was a stimulus, but I've discovered that they didn't need much stimulus. Calgary is blessed with a lot of generous people, and I think it's a blessing to our city, and it's a testimony to the quality of life that we have and enjoy here.
Oh, that's so true. If there are folks in this room who think, well, you know, I just got to get my money figured out, then I'll donate, or I'm going to do a bit more and then I'll contribute. You're a guy that's contributed $100 million while you're still with us, which is tremendous. What's your advice to the people in the room to say, yeah, get out there and give money?
Well, a very good friend of mine who did a lot for the community and for this city, most of the money that he donated after his death. And I think a great amount of joy can be achieved by enjoying some of the benefits of the hard work that you've gone through by giving money while you're still alive and watching the appreciation of the people that receive it.
Isn't that great? I have to say, personally, and as our city and as a Calgarian, it's not $5 million better, it's not $20 million better. Our city is $100 million better, which is a big number, but more importantly, it's your name and your heart and the battery that you got that's still going, and we are also grateful. So thank you so much, Don.
Thank you very much.
That's great. Okay, so we are going to bring up Cameron McDonald. Come on up. Cameron's here from Pekarsky and Company, who did so much of the research and helped getting this organized. And as they present this, have a look over here for the picture. And this is a man who literally changed the face of our city to the tune of $100 million. Can we hear it one more time? Mr. Don Taylor. Thank you, Don. All right, Sherilee, come on up. Our next recipient is Sherilee Sajou, and as he's finding his way up, I want to remind all of you that if you think you know somebody who should be nominated, somebody who's coming up, as we've heard in 2023, there's a next one, you have a seat. The website you can find, top7, the number 7, over 70.com. Nomination stuff is there, so you can get in there. We want to hear from you. So have a seat.
Thank you.
So good of you to come. Sherilee Sajou is our next recipient. We're going to take a look at his video, and then we're going to chat. After a successful career in business, Sherilee Sajou has dedicated his 70s and 80s to helping immigrants with drive, desire, but no resources. He provided land, capital, and mentorship to younger immigrant partners to create an auto wrecking business, a food wholesale business, an auto parts business, and Park to Go near the Calgary International Airport. He has personally guaranteed mortgages for 8 families, has settled 10 immigrant families, supported 6 families with bank guarantees, and sponsored 17 individuals to come to Canada. And his philanthropy goes beyond Canada, with support given to needy educational establishments in East Africa, Central Asia, and Pakistan.
These people are born poor, but they need a spark. If the spark has been given, these people will be like a fireworks then. So we find those people and try to help them. It's very satisfying work.
He is, I think, a true philanthropist. You know, he helped a lot on the fundraising side, but he also contributed very generously himself.
Well, these newcomers, it's difficult. Like, you must know about it, that whenever they apply for jobs, said, what is your Canadian experience? So when they come, I look for it. And they come and they say, we need some help. They're very shy, but they're very strong people in their personality.
They are immigrants for a reason, and they are people who are committed, who are passionate, who are dedicated, who have families, who are willing to work hard. Shirley comes from that background. I don't think he came with any money.
Poverty travels. So rather than bringing poor people, we stop poverty at the sources. And we can take the poverty out.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great. Talk a little bit about why immigrants? Why is that a focus for you, and what is behind that?
Well, I think the immigrants are totally new to the country. And their knowing of the country is very hard unless they get a right person beside them. If they don't have right guidance, they go totally wrong in this settlement of their own life, which is totally new life. They come from the war zone, a trouble area, and this is very hard for them.
And so then someone like you shows up.
We try.
Did you have a mentor or somebody that taught you this when you were younger?
Well, it was the parents who are your mentor when you are young there. And beside that, when coming to Canada when I was only 35, I'm 42 now, I think so. So it's a mentor of the parents is number one at the family, and sometimes it's hard also to mentor your own family. It's difficult, but then you get the right people, like I got in the room here, which was a great help when I came here. It's like people like Jim Gray, Chris Robb, and Palaskis. Sorry about it.
Don't be sorry.
Make life easy for us then. You got a life to worry about, but then you got a good mentor around you.
Yeah.
You don't know where to go, where to borrow the money. They come to rescue you. Don't worry, we are there for you. And I hear Jim Gray today, Pulaski, Chris Robb, and everybody was very kind to me.
Wow.
And the people who sold the business to us, I don't know, they don't live here in Calgary yet, they live all in Palm Springs now. And they're very helpful to us to start the business here. So it was a good mentorship from them too. You need help. You need that spark to work.
Wow. When I grow up, I want to be you, if I can.
Oh, I see you're younger, eh?
What's your advice to people in the room to say who are looking at aging and think, you know, like Brian Fileski said, you can only golf so much. If they're looking for inspiration or looking for what to do, what's your advice for people on how to age well?
One thing about, you mentioned golf, is a par 5 golf course. Then you'd hit 5 shots only.
Yeah.
Not be a marvelous 300 foot long and then you duff in the putting area. So you better if you go slow and then you'll be successful. And what you said, you advised to me, to the people, that give spark to the people. Everybody is born same way, naked, no nothing, no life. But if they get a spark when they grow up with the people, they become somebody. And that spark is to be given by the people who have means to give that spark. And we sometimes are very reluctant to give that spark to the people.
Wow.
And that's very important. And I'll give you one quote here,
Sure.
which I think you can read better than I can do.
Sure.
You read it for me. This is what I told about this by His Highness the Aga Khan.
There are those, and who wrote this?
His Highness the Aga Khan.
The Aga Khan, okay. There are those who enter the world in such poverty that they are deprived of both the means and the motivation to improve their lot. Unless they can be touched with the spark which ignites the spirit of individual enterprise and determination, they will only sink into apathy, degradation, and despair. It is for us who are more fortunate to provide that spark.
Look at there are, like, we had been given spark by the people. I'm very grateful with Canadians when we landed ourselves here in this country 35 years ago, and we were given that sparks to us. And we grow and we try to help people, because without that there's no life.
And it's here, and it's here. And there are people in these chairs,
Oh.
new people here, who can say, I came to this country with nothing, and I was afraid, and I didn't know what, and somebody showed up at the spark, and it was you.
Oh, there are so many, but I tried to do a little bit what I can.
I think you did more than a little bit, and we're very lucky. So we're gonna get the folks from the Hyatt. Come on up here, and to present this award, come on up here. I'll help you out if you want a hand up.
I'm okay.
You okay? All right, so we're very lucky here because we have Jamie Mitchell from the Hyatt. This is your home. Thanks for building it for us, Jamie. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
From the Hyatt Regency, Calgary.
Thank you.
This is a man who makes our city better. Can we hear it for Sheralee Saju? Sheralee.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm okay. No, I'm okay. Yeah.
Don't you feel like, boy, I got stuff to do, don't you? It's so impressive. What did you forget? You come on, it's your show. You
Whatever I do, it is thanks to my wife.
Oh, yes. Tell me a bit about your wife.
She's in a wheelchair. Had a damage in the brain. She can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
Part of this whole is she played a big role in my life.
She is the one. Isn't that great?
Thank you.
Oh, sure, no problem. This is an event that fills your heart, doesn't it? We have great photographers here, and if any of you want to see any of those pictures in a week or two, they're going to be up on top7over70.com for the photographers that can see through their tears taking the pictures. We hope they're in focus, so thank you for taking all our photos. Oh, you know what? I dropped the thing. Let me do the thing. Can we get an award? Amy, I'll just show one off, and then while we bring up Clarence, right? Clarence, come on up. Clarence Wolfleg is our next one. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
These awards, I'll see if we can get a shot while they find their seats. So Julia Reimer handcrafted these awards. People are saying, what are they? What do they look like? So this is it. It's a beautiful glass globe with a carving inside it. And is Julia here? We don't think is Julia here? Let's pretend she's here and give a warm round of applause for Julia Reimer. So that's what they are. Good. How are you? Okay, before you and I chat, let's watch your video. Can we? Oh no, we get to hear from you. Yes. Boy, there's just so much going on here, and I want to make sure we get everything all right. So Susan Ibach is here from Shaw Communications. She's going to be the one giving you the award, and we wanted her to say a few words. So go ahead.
Thank you, Dave. It's an incredible honor to be here tonight on behalf of the Shaw family and my colleagues at Shaw to present this award to Elder McSeacom. At Shaw, we believe that it's everybody's responsibility to make our communities inclusive, resilient, and healthy. I have been so inspired by tonight's honorees. Each of you are doing such incredible work to make Calgary and Canada a better place, so thank you. Elder McSeacom, thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for educating our community. Your influence will help to serve and create a brighter future for the next generations as we strive for restorative justice and reconciliation. Congratulations.
Thank you. Susan is going to come back to present the award, but before you and I get to chat, let's have a look at the video. How do we, as Indigenous and non-Indigenous Canadians, find our way forward from our history? Well, after a career in the Canadian Army as a UN peacekeeper working in Germany, France, and Cyprus, followed by a 20-year stint on the Blackfoot Police Force, Elder Clarence McSeacom stepped into the challenge with strength, wisdom, and grace. Since turning 70, he has spent countless hours serving as an advisor, speaker, and counselor with both Indigenous and non-Indigenous organizations. This after his own start at a local residential school.
When I was 6.5 years old, I don't call it a school, I call it a place, that place. As the old people said, you're gonna go to this place. You won't be coming home. Took all my new clothes, threw them in a bag, hung them up, gave me denim coveralls with a big number, 61, I still remember. Welcome to the residential school.
A pain transformed is no longer a pain transmitted. His entire career, I think, has brought him to this point. He's now taking all of that experience to a level that is, in my view, where Canada needs to go.
I go where I'm called. I help in any way I can.
He almost has a regal presence, the kind of presence that a spiritual person has.
You take the good things of yesterday. You put it with the good things of today for a better tomorrow. And that's my own personal guide.
Clarence or McSeacom, thank you and congratulations on this. Why? Why do you do what you do?
Well, I guess I have to, 2018 when I turned 70, I've completed my spiritual journey as the holy person, a grandfather in spirituality for my nation. Not only for my nation, but all other, I work with quite a number of spiritual people in North America. And it made me realize that when you follow the medicine wheel teachings, I was in the third quadrant getting ready for the winter years of my life. And I said, that final quadrant, you have to give back all the knowledge you've acquired. Because I have traveled quite a ways, in spite of some were sad, some were good. But you also learn from the situations you're in. So that's when I turned around and I said, I got to go help young people. I got to go help people that want to hear the stories of my people, the stories of who we are. My mother told me, you have to try twice as hard, not because you're better than anybody, but because of who you are. You have a history, and then you're going to get yourself educated. On the other side, to be able to understand what people are, why are they coming to you? But because we all have a spirit, but sometimes we leave it at home all the time. There's an old tradition. If you're going to leave home for a bit of time, call your spirit. I always call Mexican to come with me, because if you don't have your spirit, what do you have to guide you in your journey?
Was there, yeah. Was there somebody that you learned from when you were young, growing up?
You know, when I was a little boy, my father is a World War II veteran. He fought in North Africa, Sicily, Artona. I sat under a kitchen table. I'm right in the middle of the family. I have 3 older brothers. I have 1 younger brother and 3 younger sisters. You often get forgotten when you're in the middle of the family. But when old people come, I used to put my newspaper on the floor, a old jam can I used for a cup, and I start eating my meal, listening to all these old people telling stories, and they would say, give my grandson another cup of tea. I fall asleep, but when I wake up, it's in that time, all the old people, I would say over 80 years old, they were the majority population of my reserve. So I had so many books of knowledge to hear from. And today it's the other way around. Under 25 makes up about close to 70% of our people. So I was fortunate. I will give that credit to all those old people that guided me, put me to sleep with their good stories.
I want to ask you the advice question that I've asked others, but before I do, I know you a bit, and we've met, and I admire so much about you, but one of the things I admire more, I think, than anything is, with your life, you have every reason to be bitter, you have every reason to be angry, you have every reason to feel such fury, and yet you approach the world with grace, with acceptance, and with kindness. How are you not bitter?
Well, it goes back to my upbringing. My father worked hard. He was a farmer, he was a rancher. I did not know that he was suffering post-trauma because he was a World War II veteran. I also was a combat soldier. I would say, I think back to this old fellow that called me to a service station in Gleason. He says, sit here, my son. I'm going to tell you something about what happened to you. The old man covered my story, even though he wasn't beside me at the residential school. And he said, never take the sadness, never be in a hurry to go to sadness. Always take that sadness and go where you're going to be. Make it into a happy occasion. Don't carry sadness with you, because it's something that will test the heart of you, which is your spirit self. You got so much history. We're very proud people. Plus, you're going to be a soldier like your father. I was barely 6 years old, and this old man said, I'm going to be a soldier like my father. And when I looked out the window when I was 6.5 years old, I told my friends, I couldn't speak Blackfoot because you get punished for it. I told him, you know what I'm going to be when I get out of this place? We're going to grow up. My mom says, I'm going to leave. My mom never tells me a lie. And I says, when I get out of this place, I'm going to be a soldier like my father. And when I come back, I'm going to be a leader of my people. And when I walked down those front steps, I says, I still have my spirit that you can never take away from me.
For those of us in the room, all of us in the room who want to live a life like you live, what's your advice?
I would say you have to walk amongst the people. We believe, the old people always say, the newcomers are coming. We got to take care of them. Because in this world, we're one people on one Mother Earth. It's people that separate themselves, create boundaries. But when I really speak from the heart and have faith and honesty in their prayers, we're just like this. We're all related.
Why don't I bring Susan Ibach back from Shaw, who's here to present you the award. So if you come stand up, we'll get a photograph of this. And again, for all of us in this room who want to know what a life of grace and dignity and leadership and strength looks like, you don't have to look much farther than Mixicam, Elder Clarence Wolflake. And now it's time for our final contestant on The Price is Right. Louis B. Hobson. Come on up here, Louis. Louis. Oh, Louis, look at you. You come over here. Welcome, my friend.
To have kept me for the last. Oh, dear God.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
I am so humbled to be in this company. Look at those amazing 6 people who've come before me. I mean, how can I be here with them? But I'm so grateful to the committee because it shows that they understand the importance of the arts. And if they have to do that through me, I'm so grateful to be here.
And I knew, because you and I have known each other forever, so I thought this is going to be a fun finish. But don't talk yet. We're going to play your video. Then we're going to talk. Here's Louis' video. There are thousands of international students, actors, writers, dancers, directors, producers, and audience members whose lives have been directly affected by the classes Louis B. Hobson has taught, reviews he's written, and stories he's told in his career as a teacher, writer, and one of Calgary and Canada's foremost theatre reviewers. Turning 70 hasn't slowed Louis down in the least. He's written the book Fail to Win Because of the Beatles, a stage play, A Dinosaur's Tale, and with 3 New York co-writers is currently writing the new Foreigner musical, I Want to Know What Love Is. If people stay in Calgary or move to Calgary because they love our culture, there are few people they should thank more than Louis B. Hobson.
I'm enjoying life, and people are helping me enjoying it and encouraging me to enjoying it. That, I think, is the biggest thing.
I was writing a book, actually, about this industry and how crazy it is and yada, yada. I just called him up and said, Louis, do you remember me? And he goes, oh, yeah. I said, would you like to help me write this book? And like instantly he said, yes. And it became like a great friendship. We met every Thursday to write this book. He and I become best friends, and it's neat to, I think if for anybody that's getting older, it's neat to have different kind of people in your life.
People still have faith in me, and I think that that's what everyone in my age group needs, is for people to have faith in them.
He is definitely an example of, that kind of mentality that you think, like Colonel Sanders at 65 just gets going, and he's our Colonel Sanders for sure.
I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. So for somebody to tell me that that is commendable, I go, wow.
How do you feel, Louis, being up here?
Well, you know what? Until about 20 minutes before I arrived, it was still surreal. I mean, I really didn't believe it. I honestly didn't. My friends, phoning me and saying, "Are you excited? Are you excited?" And I said, "You know what? No." Because I don't understand it. I don't understand all of this wonderful thing that has happened to me. You bet. And then I get here, and then I'm excited.
Well, we're so glad you're here, because what we've talked about if you weren't here. Tell me a bit about why. A lot of people could be golfing. You could be golfing. You're not. Why?
Well, because from as long as I can remember, this is what I've wanted to do. When the lights went out and I could get on a stage, I was my happiest. I think my mom used to say, I was 4 years old in kindergarten. I was really young, and I wanted to be the MC. And that's what I got to be. And you know me, I've never stopped wanting to be up here. So maybe that's what it's all about. It has fulfilled my life. I mean, it has given me an absolutely incredible life, a life that none of you could imagine. A little boy from Blairmore, Alberta. And I've talked to some of the biggest movie stars in the world. And if I'd said that's what I wanted to do as a child, people would have laughed. But you know who didn't laugh? My parents didn't laugh. My teachers didn't laugh. And so I have had encouragement, I've had support, I've had all of that all of my life. I am so absolutely blessed. People have been behind me all the time saying, "Louis, you can do it. You can do it." And there were many times I didn't think I could. But there were always those people who said you can. I mean, there's that Jeff Perry, when he came to me and said, "I want you to help me with this book." And I said, "Jeff, I said I want you to help me." And he said, "What'll it take?" I said, I don't know. And he said, "How about we have dinner together every Thursday?" Can you turn that down? I mean, can you really turn that down?
Free dinner? Come on.
Free dinner? Louis will do anything for a free dinner. Ask Stage West.
Well, you know what?
He said I put them in poverty by eating all the crab legs.
But you know what, Louis? Here's the thing. And as a theater guy, I know that, first of all, when Louis is in the audience, you know it, because his laugh is this crazy laugh. And then you're thinking to yourself, this is the 5th play he's been to this week. And this is the 5th thing he's come to review. And if you look at the Herald, the Sun, anywhere now, your reviews are still there today. And you're still working on them. And there are actors out there who look to see, what did Louis say? How do you stay that excited, that interested still today?
Every time those lights go down and the stage lights up, for me, it's a new experience. It never seems to be old, because I love that excitement of something happening on a stage. And who was it? It was one of my editors said to me, "You're a vampire. You come to life at night." And that's the way it's been. And whether I'm on that stage, behind that stage, or watching that stage, that's when I come alive.
That's when you start chewing on necks.
That's right.
The vampire right there. What is your advice to people who say, I want to write a book, I want to do all these things when I'm 70? What is your advice to them?
Find somebody who believes in you. Find somebody who says you can do it. And then you have to find that person who will also, with a whip, and say, you got to do it.
Right.
Right. Because I'm one of these people who think, well, I think I want to take some time off. But you can't do that. You got to have people who constantly say, do it. And that's what happens when I'm directing.
Right.
or writing or things like that. I tell them what I've been told. Do it. Just do it.
We've heard from Indigenous leaders, academic leaders, we've heard from business leaders. For you, talk a bit about the arts. I know that they say people move to a city and they move to a city for the job, but they'll stay for the culture. How important is that to our city culture?
It's absolutely invaluable. Civilizations have always been judged on the culture, the arts that they have created. And I predate professional theater in this city.
I thought you were going to say I predate civilization.
Oh, I do that too, yeah.
That's so much, Louis.
You know, I had students who said, "You're older than dirt." And that was 20 years ago. But no, that's the thing, is that I saw Theatre Calgary being born. I saw Alberta Theatre Projects being born. And I've seen the incredible people who've come to this city and who've made this city one of the best artistic places in Canada. When I say in a review, this is world-class theatre, I mean it. You go to our theatre and you won't see anything better in New York or London, or certainly Toronto. And I can say that because I've seen New York. I've seen London. I used to go to London every summer for 2 months and see everything, and I mean everything, that was playing that season. And then I come here and I go and I see our stages. I'm seeing as good, if not better, here in the city. And that's why I keep doing it, Dave, because I get so excited when I see something that you know, just makes me want to stand up and cheer.
Well, you know what, Louis? You make us want to stand up and cheer. Why don't we come on back up. Or no, come on, you're not coming back up. The person who did so much work as part of this as well, but also does so much work at the Calgary Herald, she's the deputy editor, Monica Zarowski. Thank you so much, Monica, for being here and presenting this award.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
hang on to this together.
You bet.
And Louis, just so you know, he is one of the reasons we have great culture in our city, and that is Mr. Louis B. Hobson. Thank you, Monica. You're awesome. Thank you, Louis.
Thank you very much, and I mean it. Those 6 other people are phenomenal, and thank you for letting me be in your company.
I think I leave this thinking I got so much. What's the score? Is there a score? What is it? 2-2. So here's what because we're gonna talk hockey for a brief minute, and then we're gonna come back. Are we in the second period? Okay, so this is what we've decided to do because we love you all so much. I'm gonna thank our people, and then the folks here have said they will show the rest of the second period on the screens, and then that'll give us all time to go home during the break to catch the third period. But before any of that happens, you know what happened to me? I was sitting here thinking a bit about the game before we started, and I did not think of it again until now. And the reason I didn't is because of these words. Murray McCann, Bonnie Kaplan, Marg Southern, Dawn Taylor, Sherilee Sajou, Clarence Wolfleg, Louis B. Hobson. Those 7 people remind me that life is not just worth living, it's worth living well, and it's worth living well no matter what your age is. So for our top 7 over 70, can we congratulate them one more time? Wow. I am lucky, I am lucky, I am lucky. Those of you that want to head home, don't forget, if you know somebody, nominate them, because we want to be back here. This is the most moving night I get to have, so don't forget that. Here's a bit of time. You can share and chat with each other, congratulate the winners one more time, and we'll get that game up if those of you that would like to watch it, and we'll see you again in a bit. Thanks, everyone. Have a great, great night.